Perfect.
Hey Nukenites, remember that thing I used to do? I think I'm gonna do it again. The OSL has begun, and they've adopted a very weird format, the MSL's Round of 24 format, and they've said, hey, you know what would be great? If we had 30 games in 2 weeks. How about it? Nuke couldn't possibly commentate all of those. Thank you very much, OGN. Bastards. So yes, I couldn't possibly have time for all of these. I'm probably going to do a couple of these series, and I'm pretty sure everyone wanted me to do this group right here. Flash, Hyun, Jaedong, and Bogus. Pretty big group. And of course our sponsor for the OSL, Angel Soft Toilet Paper. Such a good sponsor. We're going to wipe the slate clean and start anew with this sponsor. Here we go. New Bloody Ridge is the map. Not Bloody Ridge. New Bloody Ridge. Put a spit shine on it. I think they widened the gaps in the middle. I think that was a big change. Moved some minerals around. Except, down at the 8 o'clock position in brown is a guy named Flash. You might have heard of him. He has not won a single game since he won the MSL Finals. Not one game out of his 4 that he's played. And that has forced everyone on forum threads to go, oh my god, Flash is in a slump! That's how you know you're a great player, when you've lost 4 games in a row, and people on forums are screaming that you've finally gone into a slump. And it's not like Flash has lost to bad players or anything. He's lost to, what was it? Jaedong was big one, Best, and he lost to Hydra, and Shuttle I think was the other one. So none of those losses are anything to be ashamed of, but everyone's like, oh my god, he lost 4 in a row. That is so unlike Flash. He usually wins every game, which is pretty much true. But he has not won a game since the MSL Finals. Now, Hyun on the other side, by the way, all the new people, Angel Soft isn't really sponsoring the OSL. It's a running gag. Okay, so get that out of the way. Hyun on the other side, up at the 2 o'clock position, scouting down. And I'm going to tell you something about Hyun. This is very rare for me, by the way. You're not going to hear this often. You might recoil in disgust. But you know what? I don't like Hyun very much. Yeah, I said it. I don't like Hyun. And I'm going to tell you why. You can probably guess why, really. A month or 2 ago, he... what team is Hyun on? Damn it. NBC Game played Samsung Khan. They played Samsung Khan, and Hyun went up against Stork, and he did a cheesy little Hydra break thing, and he beat Stork for the first time. I was like, yeah, whatever. It happens. Anyway, so I think he met Stork again in the ace match, did pretty much the same strategy, or like a rush strategy or something. He beat Stork again, beat him twice in one day, and then when he got out of the booth, he did this giant laugh, like, rah, rah, rah. There wasn't audio, but that's what I was imagining in my head, like a really evil, like, rah, ah, 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 tilted his head back. And at that moment, I said, I hope Hyun loses a lot. And by God, my prayers were answered, because he has won 1 game in his last 10 or something like that. Oh my God, he has been losing everywhere. So I actually feel a little bit bad about wishing that upon him. Perhaps that brought down the Brood War God's wrath on poor Hyun. But yeah, he has not been doing well since those games against Stork. Of course, Stork hasn't been doing well since those games either, so it kind of evens out. Stork really needs to put his glasses back on, but yeah, I don't like Hyun. So I am going into this thing with a damn bias already. But I'm going to try to be as non-biased as usual. I'm a pretty non-biased commentator. As you see, Hyun is skirting around here with his drone. Freaking Hyun. Okay, shake it off. Okay. So Flash just now throwing down his command center, seeing the 3rd hat-trick coming up on the other side for Hyun. And Hyun already has his 2nd base up and running, refinery on the way for Flash. He finally took down that drone behind the minerals, so he's going to stop the scouting of that engineering bay that's coming up. So Flash is going to prepare for those mutas, I believe. Plus he has his SCV in here for a very long time. He might actually get to see the Spire come up if he hangs in long enough, the Spire or the Hydralis Den. But he might be able to hang in long enough to see it. Finally, some Zerglings coming up for Hyun. He's going to chase Flash around a bit. And like I said, this is New Bloody Ridge, which I think the big change was just the ramps in the middle, just extending those quite a bit. And they moved the minerals in the middle to make that a little bit easier to take, more difficult to cheese. I'm going to have to look at the comparison shot a little bit more before I do commentaries like this again on this map. But it looks like Flash is pretty well prepared at the front. He does have a wall. Does have the wall. They're prepared. He has a couple of Marines, and he is going straight to his academy. Has the +1 upgrade going already on that engineering bay. Being chased around a little bit by these Zerglings, but I think he's going to be able to stay in long enough to see what Hyun puts down. Of course, the lair just now coming up. So Hyun's going to try to micro his butt off and get rid of this freaking scouting SCV. He's got it down the yellow, so if he micros effectively enough, he's going to be able to get rid of that. And now Flash has been forced out of the main, so I think he is decided to pull back, go home, and probably just wait on ComSat or something to scan again. But putting down 2 more barracks. Flash has put down 2 more barracks, so he is going to be pretty aggressive. Going to make use of his 2 bases, obviously. But there comes the Spire for Hyun. He is opening up with some standard 3 hatch muta for harassment. This is a pretty good map for the harassment, and that's probably one of the reasons they changed this map, is to make it a little bit harder to do the harassment of the natural expansion. That would be my guess anyway, because I did see that the minerals were switched around a bit, but I didn't get that good of a look. But Flash is at the front. He does have medics in the back to protect and heal up. Oh, another barracks from Flash. He is going to be a little bit more aggressive this time. This has been Flash's style as of late. It's kind of reverting back to 2007, 2008 Flash, when he was just a ridiculously aggressive player. He cheesed all the time. He's known as the Cheddar Terran back in the day, because he would just come up with brilliant cheese moves. What was that one map? I forget the map, but he'd come up with a brilliant cheese where he built a refinery so he could mine the minerals that were blocking the other base. It was so insane. It was insane. The Flash had some excellent cheese builds back in the day, but look at this. More barracks for Flash. He's going to have 5 barracks, pumping medic and Marines. And this might play out quite a bit like his games versus Zero in the final, actually going for an aggressive type of strategy instead of his normal bunker in, well, hunker down, and with his tanks, wait for his tanks basically to move out, take his other base. But yeah, this is going to be a very aggressive push from Flash. He's building a bunker just in case he gets counterattacked by Hyun. But yeah, this is going to be horrible for Hyun if he does not scout it. But luckily, he does have the Overlord here, so he did scout the huge amount of troops coming his way. So he's going to put down the sunken colonies, isn't he? Oh my god, I didn't see any sunkens for Hyun, but oh man. So the stem is probably going to pop up, knowing Flash, as soon as he gets to the natural expansion. 3rd base coming up now for Hyun. Hyun has no sunkens at the front. Oh dear god. So Hyun's going to try to defend with only his Mutalisk and probably some Zerglings to get a pincer attack or something here. But +1 already done for Flash, and he already has the stem. And oh my god. So Flash is going to try to push the front with a huge amount of troops already floating over with another one of his barracks just to get them all in the same place, make it easier to macro. But he's still pumping from the 4 that were already inside of his main. Has the stem, stemming and coming in with the reinforcements. Got to be careful here. He's going to be caught off guard. Here comes Hyun. Hyun gets nothing done. Doesn't even take down a single Marine or anything. So he's got to get a pincer attack or something and go out there with Zerglings, get the pincer attack, and keep Flash at bay so he can put down some static defense. He needs sunken colonies pretty desperately. Oh man, it feels like deja vu here. Not the commentator, the actual feeling of deja vu. But oh man, Hyun, pretty nice pincer attack there. Gets some damage done, but really not enough. It puts a small dent in Flash's arm, but the observer's pointing out absolutely no static defense at the front. This could be a slaughter if he can't get another nice pincer attack on Flash. He's got to get in there to the resupply line too. Look at this, nothing at the front. Hyun coming in now with his Zerglings and his Mutalisk at the same time. He's running very low on Mutalisk, I think, too. I think he lost a lot there. Just Zerglings streaming in a straight line. No static defense. Flash. Once Flash's reinforcements coming in, actually, he might not even need the reinforcements. He's just coming back here, positioning himself behind this natural expansion. The Mutalisk can't even get close. Reinforcement Marines running into the main. Look at that. Just ding, runs right by into the main. Goodbye, drones in here. Hyun, oh god, Hyun trying to run away. He's going to lose all of his drones. He lost pretty much every drone. I don't think Hyun has a single drone left. GG, that was a slaughter. Dear God. I'm starting to feel very bad that I kind of cursed Hyun after his games against Stork. I was mad, but I'm not that mad. I feel bad now. Oh well, terminated, as the Terminator is going to move on to the winner's game. Alright, let's move on to Jaedong versus Bogus.